But anyway, this is pumpkin cheesecake in my little kitchen, so we're gonna give it a try. Hey, hi you guys, I'm Amy and we're in my little kitchen. Anyway, I'm so excited, but I'm also kind of sad because I tell you, I don't think fall is long enough with the holidays and filming and just other things that we all got to do. There's just not enough time to create or do some of those recipes that involve pumpkin or maple or the soups and the stews and the richness and the casseroles, but I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna do my best to maybe get some recipes out there for you on my YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, so that maybe you guys can give it a try too. And maybe it's a spin on something you haven't done. I'm not sure, but anyway, most of you have your own version of pumpkin pie and things like that, and I know that's definitely a tradition in my house and what I've done for Thanksgiving and maybe even Christmas and stuff like that. But I think I mentioned this before. I don't think we should save pumpkin necessarily, all the things pumpkin, just for the fall time. I think pumpkin, can be sprinkled in a little bit in the summer, in the spring, and the winter maybe, so whatever. So what I'm gonna do right now, instead of a pumpkin pie, I have made a pumpkin cheesecake before, and I really, really like it. And one of the things that I do a little bit differently on some of my crust when it comes to pumpkin pie or whatever it may be, is what kind of crust do I do? And so I am making like a low sugar graham crackers, but I've done shortbread cookies before, but this time I'm gonna add ginger snap cookies to them, to the crust. And I thought that would give just build up those flavors and those different layers within the cheesecake. Cause now you got this very nice, rich and, kind of little bit of hint of spice in your crust. And then you've got the richness of the cheesecake. And so anyway, I hope you will make this pumpkin cheesecake and let me know what you think. But in the meantime, let's get going. It's pumpkin cheesecake time. Okay, so what I've got going on here is a combination of 3 cups. If you want to do all graham cracker crumbs, feel free to add 3 cups of graham cracker crumbs. I'm doing probably about 2 cups, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and about a cup of ginger snap cookies. So we're just gonna grind up a little bit more of the graham crackers here, and then we'll kind of build up our crust here. Oops. There we go. And yes, this is kind of like my little mini food processor. I didn't get the big one out. And you just really want to grind it up really, pretty much like a fine crumb, because you don't want these big chunks. Okay, there we go. You know what? I could have just added a few more of the ginger snaps in here. I just think this will give kind of like a little spice, so you don't have to add, if you're just going to use just graham crackers, I would definitely add maybe just a hint of ginger spice and a little bit of cinnamon to your crust. I don't know, I just think it, kind of builds up the of the layers, so you don't have a separate crust with a separate cheesecake. You don't need a lot of the spice in there, but just a little bit. I would say anywhere from, I don't know, maybe like a half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a quarter to maybe half a teaspoon of ginger, but that's all you need. Okay, got that done. I love this little mini thing. See, I tell you, bigger isn't always better. It's just so easy when you just got like a little quick thing to do here. And I did do this in batches. So we're just gonna move this out of the way. Here, I'm just gonna stir this up a little bit. So I am not adding any spice to this because obviously I added the ginger snap. So I have maybe about a tablespoon of sugar. There's really 2 in here, but I'm thinking maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar. I think that's all you need, really. I don't think I melted enough butter. I only have about 4 tablespoons of melted butter, but I think I'm gonna have to go at least 6 or 8. Because the one thing you don't want, you want all the breadcrumbs or all the graham cracker and ginger snap cookie crumbs to be wet. Because if you have it too dry, then obviously your crust is just gonna be crumble and it won't adhere. So yeah, all I had was about 4 tablespoons in here. So I am going to add 4 more. So where did I put that butter? Oh, here it is. We're just gonna put the rest of this in here. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna cut it up here so that it will melt quicker. Here we go. Okay, well, my new microwave, even though I have one up here, Chris and I are going to take this big hunkin' microwave out of here, and then we have a smaller one just over on like a little stand, like a kitchen stand or whatever over there, because I just want a real fan over the stovetop, and it'll just open that up a little bit more. And I think we're gonna put some decorative tile up there to kind of finish that wall space. But anyway, so I'm gonna go over here and melt my butter. Okay, so I melted 4 more tablespoons of butter because 4 was not enough. So we have a total of 8. And if you think your your graham cracker crumbs, and ginger snap or whatever you're gonna use is still a little dry, just drizzle just a little bit more. But you don't want it too buttery because then it becomes too greasy. Well, obviously I didn't get enough, big enough bowl. And then what we're gonna do is put this in our springform pan and just kind of stick it in the oven at about 350 degrees, just for about maybe 10 minutes, just so that it sets and just gets a little itty bitty brown. Yeah, I like it because it's not too greasy on my fingers, so that tells me that I did not add too much butter. Okay, I think my pan is on my stove. Okay, there we go. Let's put it in the springform pan. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, let me get this out of the way. we are gonna start putting our crust in our springform pan. And then if you want, just push it up the sides a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of this out. Tell you the truth, I added a little bit more than 3 cups. So once you think you've got it all evened out, just kind of press it down in there, compact it down a little bit. Just use your hand, or, I mean, if you want, you can use like a little glass. I like it to go up the sides a little bit. Just kind of even it out there. Okay. Okay, like I said, I have my oven preheated. There you go, if you can see that there. I have my oven heated at 350 degrees, so we'll put this in there for about maybe 10 minutes. You don't want to go too longer than that. You just want to kind of like set it before you put the pumpkin cheesecake mixture in there. Oops. I guess I should have checked my oven racks before I turned the oven on, because I gotta lower them. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna put it on there for about 10 minutes. Maybe just put that right here. All right. Okay, I think we can start using the mixer now. Let me see, what do I need to do? I think what I need to do is, I always forget. Oh yeah, like I should know this. But you know what, whenever I do these videos, I get kind of panicked. And I just really want to make sure I tell you guys the right thing, so. Oh, I need my beater. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go find the beater. Okay, I found my beater. Sorry about that, you guys. See, look at that. I tried so hard to have all my act together, and I didn't do that. So we're just gonna beat the cream cheese. Oh, another thing that I've read up on, which kind of makes sense, because just like cookies and other stuff you bake with, you kind of want your ingredients at room temperature. So I had this cream cheese sitting out there for a little bit, and I'm using like that, it starts with an N on your cream cheese. I think that's what I used. It's just got a slightly little less fat or whatever. But regular cream cheese is fine too. I just had this, and so I want to make sure I get all of it in there. So I have 4 8-ounce of cream cheese in there. So what we're gonna do here is just beat this, kind of break it up, soften it up. There we go. Looking good. I'm gonna get my little scraper. You'd think I'd never baked before. Because sometimes when you use a mixer, it kind of gets all to the sides and doesn't mix in with each other. Okay, I'm gonna mix in the sugars now. So what I have is about 1.5 cups of sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So I just poured that in there. 1.5 cups of regular granulated sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. I don't know, I just think this brown sugar, again, you're making cheesecake, just gives that little extra flavor and richness to it. So I just really want to make sure this is gonna mix up well. And it will. I just have to scrape it down. Before we add the eggs, and it's 4 eggs and 1 egg yolk. Okay, there we go. While that is going, I'll crack my yolk, my egg and yolk. I didn't crack it very good. It didn't leave me enough of an opening. Oh dear. Get all the egg white out there. Okay. There's my egg white. Okay, I think this is going. So we're just going to go ahead and add the egg yolk in there, along with 4 eggs. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do though? I don't trust myself with this small little opening to not get an eggshell in there. So I'm just gonna do one at a time. My little handy dandy measuring cup. So 4 eggs and 1 egg yolk. Because, you know, cheesecake is basically kind of like a thick custard. Oh dear. We got that going on. And I'm local brand, people, love it. Tillamook sour cream going in this cheesecake. And no, this is not a paid sponsorship. I just like local. Tillamook is here in my home state. It's great. It's creamy, it's thick, it's good tasting. Okay. Since we got egg in here already, I am going to use half a cup. Let me see, did I do that right? I want to tell you the right thing. Yes, half a cup. Okay, there we go, half a cup. I'm just going to kind of scoop that in there. Oops. Oh dear. With the sugar and everything, this will give it a little bit of flavor and a little tartness and richness to it. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to stop this for a minute and just make sure I have the sides. Just so everything is mixing up okay and not getting stuck anywhere. stuck on the bottom, on the sides. See, I make sure my spatula, that's what it is. Oh my goodness, a mixer scraper. Well, you guys know I don't have cue cards, that's for sure. Oh, guess what that is for? And see, it's like a nice golden brown. So we're just gonna set this right over here. Let it cool for a minute. I'm gonna add in about a teaspoon of vanilla. We still gotta add in the pumpkin. I'm gonna add in a little bit of cornstarch, or you could add in a flour. I would add in about, you know, maybe about 2 tablespoons of flour or 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. And obviously your egg is the binder, but this will help, you know, thicken it up as well. Let's get our pumpkin in there. Okay. I think another thing you could do too is just put a thin layer of this combination on the bottom of the crust and then add in your pumpkin to the remainder, and then you might have a little layer. I haven't tried that before, but I'm not going to do it this time because I'm not prepared. Okay. Boy, I'm going to lift this up. One of the things, I know there's a lot of brands of pumpkin puree, and obviously we know the main one, but I really like this Farmer's Market. It's organic pumpkin puree. I don't know, I just love the taste. I love the consistency of it. And it just makes a light, fluffy anything. This is what I make my, I think I've only done it one time. Used the sugar pumpkin and cut that open, get the seeds out, baked it, and then pulled away the pulp and made my own pumpkin puree. But it's been a while. Obviously this is more convenient. But I like this brand. I think this is called, yeah, Farmer's Market. Oh, duh. No wonder I like it. I don't know, I have this at my grocery store. You may not have it where you're at. So any good pumpkin puree that you like will work in this. Okay. And then we are going to add in some of our spices. We're going to add in a little bit of nutmeg. Well, maybe 1/2 teaspoon. If you don't like nutmeg, about 1/4. Let's say 1/4 because nutmeg can be kind of strong. It's a nice herb. And definitely about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm just going to add maybe about 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. I wanted allspice other than cloves. I don't think allspice is as strong, but maybe that's just me. Okay, that's enough. Okay, there we go. Did I get everything? Usually I miss an ingredient, don't I? Oh man, you guys, I smell it. It smells so good. I'm just gonna lift this up one more time because we're just gonna let it go for a minute. And we'll just do it till it's fully combined. And then we'll pour it in our crust. All right. So just give that a whirl for another moment. I'm gonna clean up this mess and then we'll pour it in our pie crust or our cheesecake crust. What a mess. Oh, there's the crust. Okay, I think I'm gonna take you guys on over to here so I can, whoa, whoops. So just see it being poured in. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna pour in our pumpkin cheesecake batter into our crust. There we go. Oh man, look at that nice rich color. I'm gonna scrape it and not just pour it because there's a lot that stick onto the side. Okay, the big debate here, because you do need it in order to really help prevent cracks. You know, that crack that'll go right in the middle of the cheesecake. I'm debating whether to put this in a water bath, or I might try what I think other people have done, and that is just to put like a sheet pan of water on the rack below so that you still create this steam and this heat from it. So I'm gonna try that instead of wrapping this in foil and then putting it in there. So let's see how that works. So you still have that steam effect without going through all the mess and worrying if water's gonna seep into your cheesecake. So I'm hoping that'll work. Okay, I think it does. I think it'll work. Let me take you on over there. So we've got about 60, I'm gonna say 65 to 75. So I think that'll work. So let's get this closed so we don't let all the heat out. So we have about 65 to 75 minutes for the cheesecake to bake, and I turned down the heat to 325 degrees. So just let it bake, relax. And I always think it's best to wait probably about 4 hours after you have baked the cheesecake before you take that luscious little bite, that delicious bite, first bite from it. I think it's also best to let it cool after you take it out of the oven. Let it cool for at least a couple hours before you stick it in the refrigerator. And then, because it needs to set, it needs to cool down. And I think it's best when it is a little bit, I don't want to say cold, but refrigerated. So anyway, we'll see what happens after that. But you may not see me until the next day when I bring out the cheesecake, and we'll decide on what are some of the ideas on how to decorate it. I usually like it just plain, or I will do little dollops of whipped cream around the edge. I usually don't put nuts on it because so many people don't like nuts, or they don't like that crunch within. On top of the cheesecake, that is another idea that I forgot to do, was either grind up walnuts or pecans and incorporate that in your crust too, because that gives a nice little crunch. But anyway, 65 minutes, the cheesecake is in the oven. We're gonna see deliciousness in about that time. So Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, I'll be back. Well, hi everyone. I'm Amy and I'm back in my little kitchen, but I wanted to show you the results of my pumpkin cheesecake. So it is in the morning time. So this is going to be Chris and I's little morning treat. Instead of a donut or pumpkin donut, pumpkin muffin, or something like that, we're gonna have a piece of the cheesecake. So this is pumpkin cheesecake. I'm really kind of bummed because when I took this out of the oven, there was no crack in it. See? There was none whatsoever. But I think maybe the weight of it, because when well, I can't do it now, but, well, when you just squeeze it a little bit. It might have been because I took a toothpick or the edge of a knife and stuck it in here just to see if it was even remotely done. So anyway, but if you don't think you definitely don't want a pumpkin cheesecake jiggly, meaning it's still like really wet in the middle of it. So you want the pumpkin cheesecake to bake a little bit longer, but it will set as well. So this took me probably about 75 minutes, depending on your oven, at 325 degrees. If it was at 350, it might have only taken like maybe 60 minutes. So vary the temperatures a little bit, but 325 does work. It just takes a little bit longer. And it gives the custard time to kind of really, solidify, not be runny or whatever. And so anyway, it looks delicious. It looks great. I probably won't have time to do the fancy decorations, but I do have fresh whipped cream all ready to go. And probably what I would do is put it in a pastry bag if I was serving a lot of people and doing little dollops around the edge of the pumpkin cheesecake. I think it looks nice if you do like candy orientated crunched up pecans, but a lot of people may not like nuts on their pumpkin cheesecake, so I would probably just leave that to the side. But anyway, because it's just Chris and I'm not sure who else I'm gonna give half this cheesecake to, I'm just gonna have whipped cream on the side. So let's cut into this lusciousness and see how it tastes. Okay, hi babe.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was telling them that I made this pumpkin cheesecake last night, and so this is gonna be our little treat in the morning. I am so bummed because there's this big crack.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why, because I probably do know why. I took it out of the oven, it looked fantastic. I mean, just a smooth top and everything. Eventually, it might have been because I poked a knife in there, like a really skinny knife to test it. And so it might eventually crack, but anyway, I did the whole hot water bath. I just didn't sit it in there. But anyway, this is pumpkin cheesecake in my little kitchen, so we're gonna give it a try.
Yeah, well, we can just always fill it with whipped cream or just cut right there.
I know, isn't that the truth? So that's what we're gonna do. The first piece is always the hardest. Well, it looks luscious.
I had to wait until this morning to try this. I'm looking forward to it.
I know, you were wanting it last night.
I was.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Like I said, the first piece is always the hardest. Okay. Let's do another one. And you shouldn't leave, because this is basically a custard, don't leave it outside on the counter, or, left at room temperature. I mean, definitely for a couple hours, but not overnight or anything. Definitely put it back in the refrigerator to have it keep for a few days. Okay, I'm gonna taste it without the whipped cream because I wanna,
Okay.
So yeah, do. Yeah, see, I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's not like really heavy dense. It's got a lightness about it too, right?
No, it's very creamy, but definitely tastes done. But it's very creamy. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I have the approval from Chris, so I guess I did a good job.
I will be eating more of this.
Me too. So you can find this recipe over on my YouTube channel at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. I would so appreciate if you subscribe to it. So this is pumpkin cheesecake. So enjoy the fall harvest and look for more recipes.